Yo, it's Sammy Trades NQ back with another video. And today's video is going to be a little bit more of psychology talk. I just want to talk to you guys, see what's going on, and what's my mentality of these, of trading and trying to help you guys out. So my personal opinion is you know exactly what you need to do to be profitable. You know exactly what you need to do to get the right in the gym. You know exactly what you need to do to get that job. You know exactly what you need to do to be that perfect, to be that person that you want to become. You know exactly what you need. You just need to put in the work at the end of the day. Literally write a list of what that particular person would do, right? If I wanted to be a more fit, right? I would be like, hey, what would a more fit person would do? They would eat better, sleep better, put better things in their system, and exercise, right? So then I'm going to be like, all right, and when do I do these things? And you would basically put time blocks of what you would do these things. If that's the goal that you want, and that's the same thing that you should do with trading. At the end of the day, you should basically say, bet I want to be this particular person. How can I become that person? Start acting like that person. And then what you're going to do is you're going to end up little by little just keep doing these things. Because at the end of the day, if you start doing, just wake up every day, early in the morning, exercise before you get into your chair, listen to your video, that motivational video that you like in the morning, do your routine, whatever your routine is, keep it the same. I do the same thing every single time. I wake up at the same minute. I sit in my chair at the same time. I take the shower at the same time. I don't change anything. I have the same books on my desk. I write the same words right before I trade. Like whatever it is, you do the same thing over and over again, and you don't change it. And that's personally what I do. I personally do that in my routine. And then from there, what you do outside of trading is also going to inflict how good you're going to be inside trading. At the end of the day, if you're not putting your reps outside the classroom, you're not going to do good in the classroom. If you're not going to do your homework, you're not going to do well on the exam or on the quiz. So it's the same thing, you just got to put in the work outside of the classroom. Because, when you sit down in the chair and you start trading, that's the test. And then your test is basically going to tell you how well you've done due to how much effort you put. And sometimes you put more effort than other people. The market doesn't really care. The market doesn't care how much effort you put. You could spend on your chair 12 hours and somebody could spend 1 minute in their chair studying or doing whatever they need to. And it doesn't care. Winning doesn't care. Life doesn't care. Success doesn't care. It doesn't care about how much time you put in or how much time you put in. It doesn't matter. It's what you're going to do to win. It's what you're willing to do to win. Because at the end of the day, you're probably just one skill or two skills or three different choices away from being, becoming, what you want to be in life. And, in trading. It could be regardless. It could be journaling. It could be just honestly becoming very disciplined in yourself or maturing in yourself. I also have a strong belief that you can't be successful in life without being humble. I really truly believe that. You cannot be successful and arrogant. Arrogance, you'll lose it. If you get it, you'll lose it. Trust. Every person that is very successful regardless in trading or in business or in any aspect of life, they're very humble. They're very humble people. They're humble because they understand like the general census of life. They understand that that they put in the time and they're in that particular position, and they understand they're human at the end of the day, right? They understand that they're human. They understand that they are just a normal person that wakes up and takes a shower and does whatever a normal person do, like whatever we do. They're no different. And definitely, being very humble and doing this is very important. It's very important for your mental. It's very important for just general life. As well as what you do as well as what you do outside of, like you're, making your bed. Simple. Something as, write your goals up on your board. Whatever you're doing in life, you gotta really implement these aspects to your life, because again, what you do outside of the chair is just as important as when you're in the chair. And that's what I want to aspect and basically emphasize over this, this whole YouTube video, is to basically drill in your head is your actions is gonna really what's gonna decide you on how you're gonna achieve your goals. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm 2 years ago, if you put me in front of myself right now, I would honestly not believe on the things that I achieved. I would be like, wow, this person knows a lot. Like if 2 years ago, Sammy sits next to me right now, and we talk to each other, and we're not gonna even be equivalently having a conversation. That Sammy did different things that personally this Sammy doesn't, and the distractions that come across, and honestly arrogance. Even I'm a good person, I'm a good person, but honestly arrogance is huge. I probably 2 years ago, if I did well in trading and just in general, I probably would have not been, a good person. Like I probably wouldn't have been as nice of a person. I probably wouldn't have been down to earth. I would have been like, blah blah blah. I don't need school and whatever, and in colleges, college is this and that. Like again, you have to be very humble to that, and success comes when you're ready for it. Success comes exactly when you need when success comes exactly at the perfect time, which is very it's very ironic, right? Because you're like, man, I want it so bad. But again, if your mind's not there, if your mentality, your discipline, and honestly your maturity is not there, then you won't have it. You won't have it. You won't get it. You have to be a very mature person. You also have to self-reflect. There was a lot of times that I thought everything was going wrong, and honestly, I would just sit in my room, in my bed. I would look at the ceiling, and I'd be like, man, what's going on? I'm losing everything. I'm like, wow. It's just like, like I'm losing it. I'm like, this happened, that happened, this person left. Wow, what's going on? Just in general, you're like, whoa, like, what, what can I do? Like, if they're in my room, you look in the room, and all you can do is start like exercising, start running, start just literally. Like I would sit in my room and I'd be like, can't do anything, let's run. Like literally, I would run, exercise. I would hit the boxing bag. I would hit the gym, the weights, and I would just kind of like get back to the charts, redo this, and because at the end of the day, it's like this is not supposed to be an easy task at all. It's not supposed to be easy at all. Different trading styles have different trading has different levels of hard, if that makes sense. Because, like, honestly, futures is probably one of the hardest markets I've ever traded. It's just hard. It's really, really, really hard. It's not as simple as options, as in stocks, and it's not as simple. It's not as simple. It's not. It's really, really difficult. There's only a reason why a couple people really do well in this particular field. The futures market is very difficult. It has ways to manipulate you into getting in. The market does an amazing job. At the end of the day, if you just sit and look at the market and just understand the market is trying to manipulate your emotions, flat out. It's trying to manipulate fear and greed. Point blank, period. The chart is a representation of fear and greed and orders of transaction due to that. And you'll see if you just sit in the chart and look at particular price and see where it's at, you'd be like, if I was in an order right now, what would I be thinking? And if you think that way, honestly, you'll start you'll start you'll start doing a lot you'll start doing well in the market. You'll start making more money in the market, as well as where is the mass putting their stop loss? Where is the mass getting into trades? Because at the end of the day, the market's always going to fake out the people and manipulate them into longs or buys. Longs or sells. And at the end of the day, it's going to manipulate you into those. And you need to understand where is the mass putting their stop loss and take profit. And then just do with that information as you wish. And honestly, when you do those things, you'll start clicking. But definitely, I want to go back to the routine. So the routine, you got to have the routine. Whenever you think of the person that you want to become, you have to start routining what they would like to do. What friends would they like to hang out with? What notes are they taking? What journaling are they taking? How organized is their setup? How organized is their computer? Like different things like that. Like, think of the nitty gritty, like, things of what they would do if at that particular position. And let's pause this real quick. Yeah, and I just want to talk to you guys about, like, having a strong mind in this. Trading is very difficult. Having a strong mind. You gotta be perseverances. You gotta have perseverance. You can't let a loss beat you up. Like, honestly, you also can't be scared of pressure too. You can't be scared of pressure. Like when Nasdaq, when you take a couple losses in a row, you gotta be like, wow, like, this feels good. Like, you wanna take losses. You wanna know where, because at the end of the day, when you win, you're not learning no more. You're winning. You're taking good trades, and of course you're winning as well, but you're not. When you lose, you're learning a lesson. It's a mistake. It's a chess move that you mistakenly made. You made a move and you basically lost a piece on your board. And that's the same way that you should think of it as the market. Whenever you take a loss, you should sit down multiple times and be like, where did I go wrong? How did I go wrong? And where should I fix it? Simple. And then most of the times that I go wrong is I usually either execute late, which is due to an emotional thing that I have with the charts. Even if you are very profitable and you're a good trader, at the end of the day, there's sometimes that you get an execution gets away from you and you kind of chase it. It's again, like nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And whoever's saying they're perfect, they're lying to you. Nobody's perfect. And again, you just sometimes late executions are worse. Not understanding the market, miscommunication to the market, not understanding where these pools of liquidity are and what's going to be taken next, and where does the market look like it wants to go, and what's the higher time frame and the lower time frame basically saying. These things you have to keep going and going and going and putting your checkbox, and you basically want to have a puzzle, right? This is how I think of the market, and I think of it as a huge puzzle piece, and I'm putting the puzzle pieces. So basically, like, before market open, I come and sit in my chair around like 8:30. I'm putting the puzzle piece together before, 30 minutes, 40 minutes before. I'm putting my puzzle piece, and I want to have all the borders lined up, right? I want to have all the borders. When you're making a puzzle, you want to get the outside first, right? You want to get the outside, which is the higher time frame. And then you want to go to the lower time frame, which is the lower time frame is the middle of the piece. And what you want to do is basically get the middle pieces, and sometimes you don't have the pieces of the puzzle exactly, right? You have areas here that's in the middle, but you're missing like 3, and you're missing 3 here, and you're missing 2 here, and you're missing 2 here. Then the market opens. Then you're filling the pieces of puzzle that you missed. You missed here, you missed there, you missed here. You're figuring it out. You're putting the pieces together. And then the last piece is your trade. That's what it should be. That's what you should be. It's like a puzzle that you're constantly analyzing and finding the pieces of them. And whenever you make the trade is whenever you make the trade is whenever it's perfectly making sense to you. When it makes perfect sense to you is when you should trade. Like when it makes clear sense. Okay, it took this, it took that. The only place it could go is that particular direction. Let's find an entry model for that, and finally let's trade. That's it. That's it. As simple as that. You're overcomplicating trading. Overcomplicating. Just go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. It's simple. It's simple. We go here, take a swing high, take a swing low. Where do we need to go? Simple. That's it. Find your execution on whatever trading style you like, and then you enter. This is particularly for day trading futures, but I mean in general, like the same thing for swing trading stocks or day trading stocks. I mean the same thing for selling options. You have to have some sort of pre research that you basically gonna have to do, and then figure out what levels that you particularly like, whatever delta or gamma or theta that you like, and then for those particular positions, and then enter off of those. It's the same thing, just numbers, dealing with options and futures. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned a lot in between the psychology talk. But I also want to talk about the aspect of like, be very grateful of every part of the journey, right? Like be very grateful of every part of the journey. There was parts in the journey that I thought I would never get to. I was like, sometimes you sit in your room and you're like, man, do you think I want to be able to, be there or be in this particular situation? And then you end up being there. And I'm like, I'm like living my dream. Like 2 years ago, Sammy would like be like, you're literally living your dream right now. You're literally living your dream. And life's like that. You're literally living your dream. And be very grateful. Be thank God, honestly. Just be very grateful. Sit down and just be grateful for what you have and what particular position you have. And then, of course, work hard for the next step. Bless me. Be grateful for the particular positions, because at the end of the day, I'm living a dream that 2 years ago, Sammy would literally thought he never would accomplish. And here we are, sitting, and you're watching me. And that's it. It's very blessed. Very blessed. All right, you guys have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.